Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Griffin with the Unit 3 Lesson 5 video. We are going to be talking about how to construct perpendicular bisectors and then something called a circumcenter, as well as some squares. So, as a reminder from Unit 1, a perpendicular bisector passes through the midpoint of a segment and forms right angles. It's both perpendicular and a bisector, which are two separate concepts. The circumcenter is the point of concurrency of the perpendicular bisector. So we've done points of concurrencies for the other types of segments we've drawn. This will be the one where the perpendicular bisectors meet. And it also is equidistant from the vertices of a triangle. So it's similar to incenter in that we can make a circle from it. So let's talk about how to make a perpendicular bisector. We're going to begin by taking our compass and putting the point of it on one of the endpoints of the segment that we're going to do the bisector for. And then we're going to open it so that it's more than halfway. Anything more than halfway across is fine. The reason it needs to be more than halfway is because we're going to swing an arc that goes above and below, and then we're going to move our compass to the other end of the segment, keeping the opening the same radius, keeping it open the same amount, and swinging another arc. And they have to cross in two spots. And if you don't have your compass open more than halfway, you're not going to get these two separate intersections. So as long as it's open more than halfway, you will get two separate intersections that you then can connect together to create your perpendicular bisector. Okay. Now, when we look at that perpendicular bisector, any point on it would be equidistant from the end point. So going back to this example, if I were to put point B somewhere on this perpendicular bisector, point B is going to be the same distance away from A as it is from C. These distances would be the same here and here. And if point B was in another spot, like for example here instead, then those distances would also be the same as the one from A and the one to C. And we would have more equal distances. So any point that you pick on the entire perpendicular bisector would be equally distant from A as it is from C. Alright, now the circumcenter is what you get when you do all three perpendicular bisectors. So you're going to take one side of the triangle, and it doesn't matter which one, and you're going to do the same steps. You're going to open more than halfway across this side. I'm going to use BC, and you're going to swing an arc that goes above and below. And then you're going to flip over to the other end of that segment, and you're going to do another arc from that endpoint above and below. And then where they intersect one another, you're going to connect with a line using your straight edge, and that is the perpendicular bisector of that side. Okay, and then you're going to do the same thing with another one of your sides. I'll do AB for the next one, and you're going to open more than halfway across that side as well. And you're going to swing an arc that goes above and below, and then go to the other end of the segment. And again, you're going to swing the arc that goes above and below. And where they make those two intersections is what you're going to connect to make the line. And that line, I'll do this one in purple also, is the perpendicular bisector for that side. And then if you did the third, they would also cross in that same spot. So you really only have to do two, but just to show you, if we did also do the perpendicular bisector for AC, opening more than halfway, swinging your arc, and then going to the other end and doing the same size arc so that you get your two intersections. And if you made that line is also going to cross the other two in the same exact place. And this place right here where they all cross one another is the circumcenter. Okay, and like before, I was saying you only need to do two. Because the third will cross there also. All right, now We're going to construct a square using AB as one of its sides. So to think about how that's done, we have to think about what makes something a square. So for starters, we're going to have some right angles. Now, we're not going to do perpendicular bisectors, we're just going to do perpendicular lines. So I'm going to start by extending the sides for AB. And we're going to make a perpendicular line through A. So I'm going to open and do what I did in our previous lesson, making a perpendicular line. And from each of those ends, remember you have to open more than halfway. You're going to swing an arc above or below, it doesn't matter. And then you're going to flip it around to the other intersection and swing another arc. And then you're going to get a perpendicular line through point A up through that spot. And that gives you one of the angles for your square. Okay. We're going to do the same exact thing for point B. We're going to swing an arc so that it crosses the line in two spots. And then we are going to move to the intersection, open it more than halfway to the other, swing an arc here, and from the other intersection another arc, and then that will give you another place to put a line perpendicular through point B and that intersection. And now to make this into a square, we have to measure how long AB is because we need to repeat that measurement. So we're going to take our compass and we're going to measure from A to B how long it is. Anytime you measure something, remember you're supposed to swing a little arc to show you did it. Okay, and we're going to take that and we're going to put that same measurement upward here and here. And I'm going to make those perpendiculars that we just did a little longer so that we'll actually intersect those arcs. And those will give you the other vertices for your square. And you'll have a square. So two perpendiculars and then measure the segments to be the same length as the original. Okay, now if we want to take that square and inscribe it in a circle, we do things a little differently. So we're going to begin, just like we began last time we used a circle, by making a diameter. Okay, and what that diameter is going to do for us is it's going to give us two corners for your circle, here and here. And they'll be the ends of the diagonal. So your diameter is the diagonal of the square. So you can call that one AC or BD. And then, if you can remember some of our quadrilateral properties, the diagonals of a square are perpendicular and bisect each other and are congruent. So we're going to do the perpendicular bisector of this diagonal. So more than halfway across, we're going to swing an arc above and below, and then flip it over to the other end of the diagonal and do that arc above and below. And you're going to get a perpendicular bisector. That perpendicular bisector will be the other diagonal of the square. And so these points where it crosses the circle are the other and corners or vertices for your square. And so perpendicular bisector of that diameter is your other diagonal. And so now when you go to connect them together, you will get your square A, B, C, D inscribed in the circle. All right. Next, construct the midpoint is just a fancy way of saying construct the perpendicular bisector, because when you do the perpendicular bisector, you are bisecting your segment. You are creating two congruent pieces. You are locating where the midpoint would be. So if you do your perpendicular bisector and you draw your line in there, that point that you create here is your midpoint. So the perpendicular bisector is the line, the midpoint is the point. Okay, I'll see you in class.